Real Music exclusive.
I grew up like a savage. One, two. You now rocking with the No Vultures podcast. You got me, myself, Lord Rab. You got Coroner Barber, gone away on vacation with his family. You got OG Clee on a different kind of vacation. Shout out to Clee up there in the Fed joint today. And we got a special guest. You know what I'm saying? This guy right here has been tested and proven in this game, and the culture we all grow up in, the culture that influenced everything that we do. You know what I'm saying? From our music to the way we dress to the way we act. You know what I'm saying? Which is the 90s, the 80s, early 80s. He went to the feds, got out, you know what I'm saying, then been set up by the police, then had task force made in his name, you know what I'm saying? We got beat up by police, you know what I'm saying? He has
ate up by the dog while he was handcuffed.
He has literally lost his name out here, you know what I'm saying, for the purposes of entertainment, for what he actually went through. We got the real Freeway Ricky Ross up in No Vultures today, man.
What up?
Man, how you doing, Rick?
Man, I'm doing super.
Man, I'm glad you came through No Vultures, man. I just want to give you the disclaimer about our podcast. We started it because there's a bunch of media platforms, right, of people that never been in situations that our people been in, right? I'm talking about, so I'm from right here. Put the podcast in the hood. We got the barbershop.
I see it.
We done brought everybody through here, you know what I'm saying? And
look like South Central.
Yeah, the lady that owned the building rock with us, I sold crack right outside, you know what I'm saying? And so in my times of growing up, it's just really to inspire the hood. I can go rent some office space somewhere, you know what I'm saying? But I really wanted to touch the people, at least for my first few seasons, and let them see that anything is possible. Okay. And of course, we brought Freeway Rick through here. So all the drug dealing aspirations they ever had, they've met the biggest one they've known to date. You know what I mean?
When you don't walking through the parking lot and they hollering at me.
Wow. Yeah.
This the hood for real.
Right. I haven't... I know we pressed for time, so I just want to kind of go through. You've talked about your life over and over and over again.
Yeah.
Everybody know we talked about that story, but I don't think people talk about enough. That you came from the small town of Texas. What was the name of the city? Tyler, Texas.
Yeah, Tyler, Texas.
What's the population?
Man, I don't even know. It might be 100,000 now.
Oh, okay. It's bigger now.
It's growing now. Nothing like it was when I was coming up. It's one sheriff,
Yeah. and how old was you when you got to South Central?
3 years old.
So you just a South Central baby. You don't know. You don't remember nothing about Texas.
Texas, I'm lost.
Yeah.
I ain't never picked cotton.
Okay.
My mama did, but I didn't.
Yeah.
I used to go back down in the summertime, haul a little hay, make some money, and haul puckle, because they had jobs down there.
Right.
You wasn't able to get no job in L.A., so I would go to Texas every summer and help my uncle out, which is really where I think I got my work ethic from. Yeah, my uncles would work you from sun up to sundown.
Okay.
They thought the saw, they used to haul puck wood.
Okay.
They thought that saw was a toy.
Yeah.
All day and all night.
Yeah.
So I grew up with dudes. I didn't have my father, but I was fortunate enough that my mom had like 12 or 13 brothers, and a couple of them, they didn't play, with their work. They thought that work was the best thing that ever happened. Right.
Yeah, that's how we grew up. Like, I be trying to tell people, this country ain't but 200 years old. We ain't that far removed from slavery. Like, so a lot of our mentalities, like, it's funny when I talk to people and they talk about their 401k or they talk about their job and their retirement and how highly they speak of it, because that's all we know. Right. All we know is work. The entrepreneur stuff, we did it, but not the way it's shown now. You know what I'm saying?
No doubt.
You always had to follow the method. Now, something that I always wanted to know about you growing up in South Central is, and I've heard you explain it, but I'm from Oakland, right? So we don't have gangs. We don't have Crips and Bloods. We got turf. So it's block for block, right? It's not this whole hood, right?
Well, I did a lot of time with Dude Smoke.
Yeah, you did. Yeah. Vallejo. Yeah. Shout out to T.Y. Shout out to Lil D. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, my man. I knew Lil D before jail, though.
Right. Yeah. But I always wanted to know with you, how did you avoid those jail politics. I mean, not jail politics, those Crip and blood politics. Like, because before you even had money, you still was able to avoid the politics. And I know you wanted to be a Crip.
Yeah, I did.
And shout out to Mom. She bought you them red Chuck Taylors. Yeah, Mom bought you them red Chuck Taylors.
Man, you done read the book.
Yeah. I'm up on it, man.
Well, you know, I grew up in the Crip neighborhood.
Mm-hmm. Hoovers. Okay.
I remember Tookie.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I ever saw him in Washington, but I know I did.
Okay.
But I just can't remember that I saw him because all my older cousins was Crips and they all hung out together.
Was you old enough to know what the organization stood for or why they had it?
No, I just saw black dudes together.
Looking cool.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I saw the women around, the horse playing, they used to play fight with each other. And we
I did time with Hoovers. You right. The niggas love to fight and play.
When we was young, we used to like to do karate and see who could wrestle.
Right.
So I thought it was just a bigger version of what we were doing as little kids.
Okay. And so did you immediately see Bloods also?
I didn't see Bloods until the Crips and Bloods started playing football against each other.
Oh, so it was cool enough to play football against each other.
Oh no, they was I remember the first time that I'd ever heard of that a Crip killed a Blood.
It was serious.
They killed him at our park. Park.
Do you know what it was over?
It was over a football game. One guy hit him out with an elbow and knocked his teeth out, and he went and got a shotgun and killed the dude.
Now, in your younger years, was you mature enough to know that violence was senseless?
Well, I didn't really know what senseless meant. At that time, I probably was about 11, 12. We was just starting to ride our bikes because we was at the beach. We had snuck to the beach.
Okay.
Mom didn't know we was gone. So when we got back, the park was circled off with cops and the tape was all around. And we was like, what's going on? Because they play football all the time.
What park is that?
Manchester Park.
Okay, I've been to Manchester Park.
Yeah, Manchester Park.
Okay.
That's where I grew up. I grew up 1 block away from Manchester
Oh,
Park.
shit. Okay.
So I hung out there all the time. It was like one of my hangouts.
Okay.
We played roller derby on the tennis courts. And,
Yeah.
shot basketball in the gym.
Yeah.
We played football against other neighborhoods in the park. It wasn't like it became, you know what I'm saying, where you couldn't go here because of this color and you couldn't go there because of this neighborhood. It was just like wide open, man. It was, black love.
Do you
power.
think that particular moment changed everything?
It definitely changed a lot.
Okay.
Like I said, that was the first time that I ever heard of a Crip or Blood killing each other, and it just kept going after that.
Damn, that's crazy.
One retaliate, and the other retaliate, and then we get to where we are today, where a lot of these dudes don't even know what it was meant for or how it started. We're just going along with a system that we know absolutely nothing about.
And I want people, there's enough information about your come up, and for people that haven't seen interviews or nothing else, at least we want them to purchase the book and read the book. Support Freeway Rick Ross, man. You know what I'm saying? Don't just
slipping on this book, though.
Man, come on, man.
Slipping on my book.
21 Keys of Success.
I wrote these books, not just to make money, because money is not my only objective.
Obviously, yeah.
I could have been.
You didn't help too many motherfuckers to be worried about money.
I could have been took somebody, you know what I'm saying, and went on about my business. But it's so important for me to know that other people have the insight of what it takes to become successful.
Yeah.
Because when I see my people suffering, and I drive down the streets. I'm sitting here in Oakland, tents all over the place.
Man.
And I know the majority of those people in the tents look just like me.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? It hurts, and it makes me want to do something about
it. Yeah. In your come up, now they call your name Freeway came from being at the end of the Harbor Freeway, right?
Yeah.
I done got off that freeway. The freeway ends so many times. You know what I'm saying? I done been pulled over on that freeway. Fucking sheriffs. They let me know.
Gonna get you.
They told me, dang, we ain't LAPD. That's the first thing they said.
We got different rules.
Yeah, we ain't, don't tell us nothing about no shit, no rules, and you ain't getting out of none of that shit. We gonna beat your ass.
Well, they took me down about 6 months ago.
Oh, yeah.
I was sitting in the car and they pulled up.
Is that with your son?
With my son.
Yeah.
You know I'm going to court for that right now.
Yeah.
They're trying to give me some time. I said, y'all.
So they said you wouldn't sit down.
They wouldn't sit on the curb, on the ground.
But you ain't on nothing.
No, I ain't on parole.
So what you got to sit on the curb for? Yeah.
I got my ID, I have my insurance, and I have registration.
Yeah.
You done ID me, so I ain't running. If I run, you got my ID in your hand.
Right.
So you'll be able to put a warrant out for my arrest. There's no need for me to sit on the curb.
And is it safe to say that once cops figure out who Freeway Rick is, now they still got that vendetta against you?
Well, you know what? The thing about it is this guy didn't know who I was.
Oh, wow. Okay, you just a
He was
nigga.
just dealing with another end.
Yeah.
So, and they still don't know who I am. Even the judge don't know yet.
Oh, okay.
They still running.
Well, I'm gonna tell you right now, they probably gonna drop the case when they find
I'm
out.
hoping they don't.
Yeah.
I'm hoping they don't.
Yeah. Okay.
Because I would like to put this cop on.
He need to be held
trial,
accountable. Mm-hmm.
And not only him, but they system.
Right.
You know,
Right.
why do a black man? Would you put a white man on the ground? Would you ask him to sit on the ground?
Absolutely not.
If you pulled him over and he showed you, you know, I would like to ask him some questions like, did Mr. Ross ever lie to you?
Mm-hmm.
You know, what made you feel that he was?
Did he pose a threat?
Did he pose a threat?
Yeah.
You know, is there some questions that I would like to ask?
Right.
Or is it the color of his skin that made you feel that he may run, even though he had showed you his driver license and registration?
Did you have a protective instinct also because your son was with you?
Well, you know, they felt that by my son being on parole, that I should go for anything that they wanted me to do to keep him from going to jail.
Right.
But I don't feel that way. You got to go to jail.
Right.
Before they take my manhood,
right.
You have to go back to jail.
Right.
You know, I'm gonna go to jail with you.
Right.
Before they take my manhood, you know,
Absolutely.
I'm not gonna be degraded. You know, so some other young black man will look up and see me sitting on the ground, and he said, "Well, Rick Ross sit on the ground, so maybe I should sit on the ground too." And you know, we got to make a stand.
We'll be doing a disservice to our forefathers and others like Rosa Parks. You know what I'm saying? Like, she refused when she knows she might die.
Refused to move.
Yeah, fuck jail. She might die.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
they really went through it.
We
ain't going through that
nah.
You know, when I look back at some of our ancestors, you know, Muhammad Ali, you know, with them threatening his life if he don't take a dive.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and he didn't die.
He didn't die.
He stood up.
He didn't die.
So, you know, James Brown said, "I'd rather die on my feet than live on my knees."
Absolutely.
And, you know, I love both of them.
In your rise and in your come up, and we all know that crack cocaine was prevalent in our neighborhoods and how it came. It hit Oakland hard and early too. Like I said, I was neighbors with Lil D, and when our neighbor Trevor told on him, like, it's like, you know, it's crazy because we can get to that, but when I watch Snowfall, which is in essence your story, right?
No,
when I watch Snowfall,
another crime committed against me,
I look at that shit and it's like, so they got consultants or who they got to do certain shit right? The aesthetic of it is how it actually looked, right?
No doubt.
So I can remember, you know, Hooters and shit before it got. I remember the big bass pipes, like the big ones and the torches, right? I was looking at some shit last night and I was like, just that whole imagery of how it looked and what happened, and the people that I know that smoked crack had money.
Right.
They wasn't bums.
There wasn't no bums.
You know what I'm saying?
There wasn't no bums in the beginning.
NFL players, fucking, you name it. I done seen singers, they smoking crack, right?
They're the only ones could afford it.
Yeah. And I want to know if you know this or if you feel the same way. It was never, because you can sit in a room and tweak for 2 days, right?
Absolutely.
And you get tired, right? You might go to sleep or go home and see motherfuckers on one for weeks, right? Everybody got their own tweaks. Some people been functional smokers, all that, right? But how is it that when a person have millions of dollars, what do you think it is that they blow it on? Because you can't smoke that much dope, right? So it has to be the decisions you make while you getting high.
Well, you know, some of the decisions that I saw people make that eventually drove them into being what we call a fiend is, you know, they might have a great job, but they decide to quit the job and become a dope dealer.
Right.
Because they want to be around the dope all day. They don't want to be around money. Money is not their object anymore.
Right.
You know, family is not their object anymore. Their object now is to tweak all day and all night, every day. So that's usually the first step to becoming a tweaker and messing off everything you got. Like you said, how do a person mess off $1 million?
Mm-hmm.
Well, he's gonna be smoking with more than one person.
Right.
Most basers don't like to base, but free basers
by themselves. Yeah.
They like free basers to base with them. So
Yeah.
they can talk shit to them.
Right.
Oh, you a free baser.
Right.
And they study pass out the
Right.
cracks.
Right.
As they called it, the cracks
Yeah.
used to be little pieces.
Right.
Oh, here you smoke a crack of that.
Mm-hmm. Is that where the word crack came
that's
from?
Where it really came
Because it was just bass when I was little.
That's all.
My
bass.
my grandma would be like, they back there basing again.
Free basing,
Yeah.
what they used to really call it.
Yeah.
It's free basing.
Right.
And a free baser was somebody who based and didn't have no money.
I thought it had. See, I was so young. I thought it had something to do with the way the work was whipped up. Was it cooked or was they? Because they were smoking. They were smoking the powder first, right, before it was getting cooked.
When I got in, they was cooking it.
So by the time you got in, they was straight cooking it.
People would still smoke powder in joints.
Yeah.
In cigarettes, they would do the bazookas.
Yeah.
Take out the end of it and stuff it full of powder.
They call them Grimmies up here.
But the powder didn't have the same taste as a cooked rock.
Yeah.
That
right.
rock had that little.
That sweet taste.
Yeah. It was like, wow.
Yeah.
So most of them prefer cooking it over. But they got just as, I seen people do the bazooka after bazooka.
Right,
You know what I'm saying?
right.
So it was just as addictive in the powder form as it was the crack form.
And they was more. Would you say they was more functional though?
Not really. I saw people that do the bazookas and all they want to do all day is just smoke bazookas. Now it was people on both sides that I always saw that was able to, sell the crack enough to where they could smoke crack all day,
Mm-hmm.
and you couldn't tell that it was affecting them other than their size. They didn't eat. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
They wasn't sleeping. And that was the same thing with the bazookas. There was guys that functioned and that made money to where they wasn't in the street, drove nice cars, but they smoked their bazookas. So I saw it both ways.
Now the Freeway Written Task Force was created to capture you while you moving. Just to sum it up, how I seen you were a very fair guy. You was not trying to necessarily be the richest. You wanted all your people to eat.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So it seemed like you gave a lot of work out. You done a lot of favors, helped a lot of people. This task force is created. Now you find out eventually that they want you dead. They want to kill you. You
Right.
running from them, they shooting at you.
Right.
I'm thinking about these days and times, and I'm thinking about when I'm young, the fucking batarang.
Absolutely.
Like people don't understand this was urban warfare. Like this shit is just not going on that.
They started then some of the tactics that they're using now.
Right.
With the gear,
Yeah.
the riot gear,
Uh-huh.
the helmets, shooting somebody that didn't have a gun.
Mm-hmm.
When you look at it, some of the things
Planting dope.
Even with what planting dope, what happened with Trayvon Martin is like a fallout from that era.
Yeah.
Where they had us labeled as dangerous.
Uh-huh.
You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
Out of their mind, crack smokers or users, and they thought that most users smoked as well. You know what I'm saying? So they put these stigmas on us, and then the cops start to fear that they've been told to fear.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Oh, if you see a black man, he got a hoodie on.
Right.
He's dangerous.
Right.
If he's wearing a piece of gold, he's a dope dealer.
Right.
So these stereotypes started and continue to flow to even up.
Stay on blue. I'm just trying to stay racked up like you.
Put an 8 in a 1 and do magic. Tryna stretch hair run like elastic. Eco-friendly drug dealer, I don't waste no plastic. Use all 4 corners of that baggie. All I ever wanted was a bankroll. So I pull up on Champ before the bank close. Say no to stank hoes and stank clothes. No paramedic pimpin', nigga, we don't save hoes. Yeah, rest in peace to Lil' M.